Tony Robbins has this quote, life doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you tolerate. What I like about this is he's pretty much just saying you need to raise your standards. Life's going to give you whatever you tolerate, meaning that if your standards are so low that you accept the bare minimum, you accept the job that you just got when you were a teenager or you got right out of university and you kind of just settled for that, and that's your baseline, of course, life's going to give you more things than that baseline. But when you actually raise the bar, which takes a lot of conscious effort at first to actually say, I want more, right? I want to achieve more. I want to experience more. I want to love more. I want to adventure more. When you raise the bar, that is going to start bringing certain challenges into your life that you have to accept those quests. Otherwise, you're going to keep going down to your baseline. Because God's going to start testing you. And he's going to say, hey, you said you wanted more? You said your standard's up here? Okay, cool, prove it. And if you fumble, like I fumbled dozens of times, when as soon as I said I wanted more, I didn't put in the work. I said no to opportunities out of fear. I said yes to the wrong out of opportunities due to logic that were safer. All of these things come into play as soon as you commit to something bigger and better for your life. So, how bad do you want it? I've been working out, right? I've been working out, been feeling good. Last 6 weeks here in Bali, but I clocked in last month 23 workouts, plus playing paddle and everything on top of that at the gym I was at. And I went to the gym the other day, and there was this influencer, JT. He's like an ex-D1 athlete coach for basketball. Just such a epic dude. Massive, jacked black guy, throwing weight around, like making it look like nothing, just super in shape. And he says he was out of shape. So you got to imagine, like, this guy is like a whole another level of athlete and just a savage. And he was walking us through this workout. And I was just going to meet up with some friends. I met him there for the first time. And he's like, hey, you guys want to do a warm up? And we're like, yeah, we'll do a warm up. There's like 3 of us there. He walks us through a 3-hour warm up and have the most crazy workout that I've had probably in the last 6 months. So JT, if you're watching this, shout out, man, you are a stud. And it just goes to show, because you can go through the motions and do things well. Like my workouts, I'm like, oh yeah, I give it in the gym. I was maybe given 50% or 60% compared, maybe 70% sometimes of what he pushed us through. And that's the importance of having a coach that has like a third party perspective on your life. They're like, are you really pushing it? And there was this opportunity that came up when, we were doing a superset. We're pretty much doing like almost 80 reps or something of bicep curls before doing some tricep things. And as we were going through that, he said, hey, Zuri, how bad do you want what you say you want? And I said, pretty bad. He's like, how bad do you want it? And I said, pretty bad. And he's like, prove it. And he picks up I think it was like 45 or 50 kg bar filled with weight, and it was heavier. And he's like, do 8 with this, when before we were doing 8 with a lighter weight. And I look at him, and that snapped the dog into me, where I was like, okay, cool. We're gonna go after this. We're gonna send this. And when we started lifting the weight, he's like, you got to hit 8. I hit 10. I would have never pushed myself that hard if I wasn't actually being coached or being challenged or being confronted with like the higher version of myself that somebody else was pulling out of me. So it's just interesting seeing like where the limits are in our mind, because in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing the best I can in my workouts for sure. Not even close. Not even close. So what that did is it now raised the bar for me, right? And we were playing tricks. He was playing tricks on us where my buddy was doing the bench press. He threw on like an extra 10 kilos that he didn't disclose. And we all watched this, and my buddy was just repping an extra 10 kilos, getting more reps out when he thought it was the same same amount of weight. And it just goes to show like how many limits we have in our mind. So when you say you want to raise the bar, when you say you want a better life, when you say you want whatever it is, it's almost like some people need to hit rock bottom because they're like, I can't tolerate this anymore. I just can't. And they'd start throwing all of their energy, their brute force into creating a better life. But you don't actually need to hit rock bottom. Sometimes being comfortable your entire life could be complete hell. That could be torture because you're not pushing, you're not challenged, you're not actually growing or learning, which I think is actual hell. Like that would be, imagine having everything you ever wanted, like these Dubai or Saudi Arabian princes that, they're born into billions of dollars in fortunes. Like everything that they could possibly want to do or buy or whatever, it doesn't have any significant value. There's no value to it because they can have anything and they didn't have to work for it. Like as nice as that might sound, it's actually quite terrible. Like what would you value? It would be like, playing the same video game that you've already mastered 100 times, you're at the max level, and there's no new challenge or growth for you to embark on. So, you don't need to hit rock bottom in order to raise your standards. In order to raise your standards, be prepared to be tested, to uphold those standards, because that's gonna happen. That's the whole reason the standards are there, is like, oh, I'm falling down over here, and you gotta catch yourself and choose, nope, one more rep. I'm gonna work one more hour. I'm gonna go out and talk to 3 more girls today to find the girl of my dreams, right? I'm gonna put myself in these situations continuously. I'm gonna push the needle. That's how muscle and hypertrophy happen. You do the reps, you do a few more reps, you add the weight, you build the muscle. You gotta do that in every area of your life because there is a compound effect. The more you increase your standards and the more results you get at this new level, there's this upward trajectory, and sometimes you're gonna come down and sometimes you're gonna, just like the stock market, it's gonna be ebbs and flows, ups and downs. So start increasing your standards. Hey, and you know what? If you don't wanna increase your standards, if you're okay being where you're at for the rest of your life, don't listen to a word of this video. You can take it in, be like, oh, you know what, that was interesting. Zuri had a lot of interesting things to say, but you know what? I'm gonna keep living the way I am. Cool, choose it. You don't have to want more for your life. It's okay, not for me personally, but it is okay if you just wanna have a mediocre life. A lot of people are gonna settle for that. But if you want more, if you wanna achieve more, if you wanna succeed more, you have to question the narrative. You have to question what beliefs you have. You have to question, what is the energy I'm creating from? Is it powerful? Is it bold? Is it affirmative? Is it loving? Or is it fear? Is it timid? Is it shameful? Is it soft? Question the energy you're creating from, increase the standards, create a new baseline level for your life, and watch magic start happening. If you don't want any of that, no worries. If you want some help with this, if you want to explore your subconscious, if you want to shift your identity into the kind of person that gets what they want, that wins, that doesn't doubt themselves on a day-to-day basis. They approach life more optimistically versus pessimistically. If you want to get out of the logical, what makes sense, and actually what is, I'll drop a calendar. You can schedule a call with me. You can reach out. We can have a conversation, explore that. Anyways, we'll see you in the next video. Zuri out.